Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to more insanity as I question all of my life choices with another Fallout 4 challenge video. And today I would like to ask you a simple question, but complicated at the exact same time, unlike AP Language, which I don't understand. How do you take an armor-piercing English class or an armor-piercing chemistry? But anyway, let's move on. Today we're going to try and beat Fallout 4 with only the Gatling laser, which I know sounds easy, but is going to be harder. I obviously designed my man. I had no intentions. I wanted to make him, I guess, look like a Viking, but I gave up halfway through. Assigned my special stats as such, and named myself Gatling Lad. And by the way, this challenge is going to be more so like getting the actual gun and everything, more so than anything else. I got frozen in the vault, as you obviously know, broke out, and basically just left the vault. I mean, it's not hard. I've already done it a few times without attacking anything. It's pretty easy. But anyway, the hard part of this challenge is acquiring the Gatling laser. See, according to the wiki, there's many ways you can do it, but all of them involve you being a high level, which me being at level 1 is not the case. Yeah, I know, it's pretty ironic, isn't it? You gotta be higher than level 1. So, we start doing a nice thing called the duplication glitch. I started this with wood and metal. By the way, this took way too long because I jumped from both knowing how to do it and just messing it up, to not knowing how to do it, and then to getting it right the first time. But this took way too long. Like seriously, I started out with 34 steel. This was not the hard part, just figuring it out, easy. And then of course once you do it, you're basically doubling the amount. So you go from 34 to 68 to 136, whatever that is. That actually it? I gotta consult my whiteboard. Anyway, this is the total amount of steel that I ended up with, which is great. But now here comes the hard part. Actually, placing stuff. I decided to go with shelves because fences and shelves can both be placed infinitely on top of each other. I thought this was easier because it was what the tutorial used. And I magically began placing down shelves. This would happen for several hours. I even went to Red Rocket Truck Stop whenever I ran out of space at Sanctuary and I was too lazy to dismantle everything, but I'd have to do that anyway. Yeah. A good, few hours later, I finally got there, and I tried to place my special points all around. I didn't really know what to do, so I just invested them in the special stats. I actually did think about just giving myself a lot of points into intelligence to basically get the idiot savant perk to be downright useless. I don't know if that affected it, but now we're here. And now we have a problem. See, I'm trying to get the Gatling laser from a random NPC, but he's a legendary. And he has and uses the Gatling laser pretty well. And he's also surrounded by an army of rad roaches. And anytime I get close, he sees me. And then he decides that, hey, I shouldn't be living anymore. So he lights me up. And it does a good amount of damage, especially considering I have no actual items, like no armor or anything. So I basically run and die. I go to Paladin Dance because I have a plan. And it starts out with Paladin Dance. And it's not what you think it is. It's by far much worse. I do some trading just to see if I can get maybe some health items. Ideally, I also need a little bit better armor, but mainly just stim packs because, well, this is going to be hard. I also wanted to see if they had any Gatling lasers, but they don't. I met with Desdemona because apparently Tinker Tom can get you one. However, you have to complete the first mission to get there, so that was a no. So I went around and I found a stealth boy. Took me a while, but you can see it on that desk. I could not see it for quite some time because I'm an idiot who may or may not be blind. One of these days I'm going to get myself tested. I died a few more times, way too many to count, ironically enough, and was back to square one. I went and grabbed Piper because I'm thinking, you know what? Piper can kill off the rad roaches and everyone there, and then I can just pick up the Gatling laser. Sounds great, right? Right? No. Piper can handle a few rad roaches, but not the glowing one who liked me a lot. And she also can't kill the guy with the laser, which sucks. I kind of needed her to at least kill him, because if she kills him, I can go and get the Gatling laser. Yeah, I'm already talking way too long about this in circles. You guys already know it. It didn't work out. I died way too many times. So, I was stuck. I couldn't get the Gatling laser because any other way required me to advance further in the questline, and I wasn't going to spend hours doing nothing in the questline. That'd be a pacifist run. I loaded myself back out to where I exited Vault 111 and did something that many of you are going to consider as a failure for the challenge. This is the cheat room. In here, someone made a mod that has every single thing in the game. I went into it and got one thing, and one thing only. the Gatling laser. No ammo, no nothing. I just have the Gatling laser. If you consider this a failure, that's fair. I could have gotten all these quest items, but instead I had an idea. Everything is going in. All the stim packs, all the junk, all the armor, everything. The only thing in my inventory is the Gatling laser. This I thought was a fair punishment considering, I gave myself this really high weapon, but no ammo or anything, so I am quite literally at 0. The best I can do is bash someone. I met Dogmeat, and I kind of just had him with me for a little bit because, seriously, I'm naked, I have nothing, so things are fun. I ended up looting a house and had some fun with blood bugs. I hate these things more than everything in this game. Seriously, I would rather fight an army of Deathclaws with a pipe wrench than ever see these guys again. Inside Concord, I started looting everything. I think this is Concord. But see, the bashing isn't the worst, but also, I'm basically hitting guys with the minigun. It's taken a lot of the fun out of it. Thankfully, Dogmeat can help out in combat, but really, I came here for these guys. I later ran into Wolfgang and Simone outside Trudy's truck stop. See, part of it was I needed to trade for any items that I could afford. Wouldn't be many, but anything is still anything. But also, I wanted to see if she would have, fusion cores. I kind of need those. Her and Simone fought bravely, but died. I ran inside back to Museum of Freedom, picked up my fusion core, and decided, you know what, I should test it here. And it, frankly, was going to be alright. See, it gave me 250 shots since this fusion core is at 50%, but it's still something. It killed most of the raiders in a couple of shots, which some of you are thinking, yeah, this weapon is way too OP for a challenge. However, again, with how rare fusion cores can be early on in the game, and also the fact that it does do damage, but these are also the lowest level NPCs probably in the entire game. So, let's move on. I let Paladin Dance do nothing for a little bit, and then I thought, you know what? I'm no coward. No, I am in fact a coward. After that, I went to Diamond City, just to speed things along. Don't worry, I'll go back to Paladin Dance later. And by later, I mean immediately after I traded for some supplies. Dance and I went in, and I realized this weapon is pretty good. So let's change the difficulty to very hard to increase my suffering and actually make this feel like a challenge. I think it does. But you know what? Again, I still understand it's a weird weapon. Kyle dabbed up this sick pose like he was trying to perform a lap dance for me. I accepted. Paladin Dance and I got back to the inside, and of course he did most of the work here. See, being on very hard, these guys can still kill me, and I didn't want to waste much of my ammo. I let Paladin Dance fight off as many of the synths as possible for quite a while, under the thought process and the correct assumption that the more synths he kills, the more ammo I can loot. The more ammo I can loot, the more I can sell. He gave me Righteous Authority, which doesn't mean anything to me, which is, I could sell it for a few caps, I honestly guess. Then went into Park Street Station. This time I knew I was going to have to do most of the work, and I did. But again, luckily for me, these guys still do much damage, and I had picked up a couple of fusion cores at this time. Now, here's an interesting quirk. Every time you reload a fusion core, even if that fusion core has 10%, it just gets put into the backlog. So I could have one that has 10 shots in it, reload, and still have some. I rescued Nick Valentine, and we were ready to get out of there. As you guys all know, drugs are a great way to deal with Skinny Malone. And no, I don't mean that weak shit. I mean some fentanyl and some jet. I dressed up all pretty for Nick Valentine to make sure he would actually take my request seriously. I know I'm a damsel in distress with the beard, but I'm still a damsel at the moment. Ellie glitched out where I couldn't talk to her for a while. I don't know why, and I feared that I'd have to restart the entire run over once again. I lied. I slept for a few days, and that seemed to fix the problem. Just only slightly, and less panic. Nick gave me more speeches, I talked to Ellie, and she paid me. Mayor McDonough gave me a key to some random person's house without really me even doing that much to deserve it, but cool. The synths inside Fort Hagen weren't too difficult. They gave me more things to loot, and a couple of times I did die just due to the fact that I'm on very hard. Kellogg was tricky. See, I lit him up with just about everything I had. The bullets were doing damage, just not much damage to him, actually. Frankly, the synths, again, were more trouble to deal with just because there were multiple of them firing on me, but eventually, I died a second time. It was kind of lovely, to be honest. I did eventually kill Kellogg after Nick stunned him to death. The Brotherhood airship arrived, and I knew I'd be joining up with them because I can get another fusion core, and I'll eventually get power armor from them, which is pretty great, I'll tell you. So I took a ride on a vertibird. It was alright. I really couldn't shoot much, so why would I honestly enjoy the ride? I listened to his speech, but really didn't care too much. I tried to see myself in my dress, but I couldn't for a while, and I accepted that with all my pride. I took a jump into the water, found out that this game is in fact not Minecraft. You can't just land in water. And this time I was actually able to do damage to the behemoth and fight him. Sure, Dance distracted him. You can say Dance took a beating. I didn't care. I was actually able to damage him. And I know I just said I don't care twice. I'll say it again. I didn't care. Yeah, fuck you. I don't write a script, or a good one. On the inside, things took a little while just because the super mutant with the rocket launcher was there. And then there was a couple of guys who just swarmed me a few times. Really, I'm just bad at the game. But eventually we are able to work our way down. Automatic weapons are still a pain to me just because they do big damage to my health and to my feelings. And also, I hate hounds. Not as much as I hate blood bugs, but I still hate the hounds, for God's sake. I talked to Nick and Piper to get a lead on where to go next, and they said, good neighbor. I was prepared. We traveled to Good Neighbor and talked to Amari. She basically said, oh yeah, I can do this, I guess, but you gotta go through this boring game section, so unfortunately I did it once again. Can no one make a mod to skip this? I killed these guys outside of the Good Neighbor just because they were mean to me and insulted me. It did take up the last bit of a fusion core. I don't care. Virgil I met in the Glowing Sea, and he basically told me I had to kill a courser to get into the Institute. And I said, you know what? That's fair. But I also added an interesting little deficit. See, fusion cores are my only ammo option for the Gatling laser. So I decided, why not make it harder by also making it to where I have to use power armor? The power armor will also drain a fusion core. I thought it would make things more challenging by forcing me to go through more and more fusion cores, and it kinda did. Not too much. The Institute synth took a while to go down. I was again doing damage to him. His cloaking didn't help him as much, but he still went down. I hate that stim pack though, because of course I do. And don't worry, I promised all of you, I made sure that once he died, all of those hostages would die as well, because we don't leave any witnesses to our crimes, especially arson, of course. I decided to kill the railroad early because why not? Dance being with me made sense. However, I would find that I thought it would be a mistake, but really it wasn't. Glory was the only challenge here, and even then, with my power armor and my minigun, she was nothing to me. Sorry, I just got bored taking them down. On the inside, I decoded the courser chip way faster than Tinker Tom ever could, and fired up the machine and got transported inside the Institute. From there, I thought about killing Father, but I decided to keep him alive so I could kill him after he knew his place would burn. I took a ride and discovered the most annoying noise ever made. I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it again. I jumped, didn't hit the water, but still survived. See, this is like Minecraft. I took the high-powered magnet out of my super secret cabinet that I knew I would need much later, so I didn't have to go around hunting for one. And then again, had 5 of them. I don't know why you're given 5, but I placed 5. They're going to get an extra one. My vertibird glitched out on my way out to the Glowing Sea. I don't know what happened, I just know that it happened. I kind of just accepted it because then I remembered it's a Bethesda game. Without the bugs, there is no Bethesda. It's why Bethesda starts with B, and bugs also start with B. I fell through the world and then respawned back top. Yippee, I think. Adam's Wrath took more than a few attempts to actually kill, even in my power armor. Partially just because I'm an idiot, but also because I'm just really bad at the game in general. I mean, I only showed you a couple of the times that he died, or I died. I placed the pulse, and then Dance decided he would stay here. Little did he know, the next time he sees me, he would be dead. Because surprise, surprise, you all already knew, Dance is an Institute synth, which means he has to die. And I knew where to find him and kill him after Maxon was done. I went to listening post and didn't even let him speak before I lit him up with bullets. I probably could have saved some ammo, but decided not to. Kells told me that I needed to take down the railroad, but little did he know I already killed all the railroad members, so I was confused. You just have to go back into the church and then you basically blow open the hole to the railroad headquarters, And then once you do that, the quest is done. I didn't get Pam. Sorry about that. At Mass Fusion, I basically just shot at the ground because I was bored, didn't know what else to do with my life. He didn't hit anything, so it's not like I failed the challenge. The elevator ride was also kind of a doozy. Again, I was actually able to do damage to the things inside me. To the things inside the building. The synths were pretty easy to kill. A few shots from me were enough, or of course Proctor Ingram could shoot, but she just didn't like to. I took the beryllium agitator core, I don't know, is it just the agitator? And then had some fight against the sentry bot. I was prepared this time, and I also was happy. See, sentry bots can drop a couple of fusion cores when you kill them. So it did take a few shots, but I would get about 1,000 shots back. I didn't know this at the time, but I do now. And he did take up a lot of bullets, but still, he would fall whether he wanted to or not. The Assaultrons were also, dealt with. I didn't want to, but luckily for me, I didn't have a choice in the matter. They died, whether they consented to it or not. I took Paladin Dance's power armor to just be better than him, because frankly, I am way better than him. Liberty Prime was activated, and then I teleported to the Commonwealth Institute of Technology because I didn't give a shit and I wasn't going to wait around for him to get there. The fight was easy, I did nothing until we got inside. Then on the inside, I actually started blasting just about everything, including the scientists who were just cowering in fear because they didn't know why all these people were here. I knew why we were here, but I wasn't going to tell them that. The gorillas did take a few shots, but again, nothing else I wasn't kind of prepared for on very hard difficulty. Who knows, maybe in my next challenge, I'll do only pipe weapons. 50-50, I'll decide if it's worth it or not. It might be. More synths died on the upside, and then I got told, hey, we can't access the core. So, go talk to your son. I didn't want to. I just wanted him to burn with the Institute. But I decided, you know what? I really should go say goodbye. I went up to him and then shot him in the head. He didn't want to help me, so he deserves death. Frankly, I would have done much worse to him, but all I had was this gun. And then I knew I had to grab his password, and then I activated his terminal. I wanted to see if I could shut down the synths, but I couldn't, unfortunately. I have to kill more. I placed the thingy on the thingy. I took Sean with me to get some free child labor. I don't remember if I made that joke. And then dressed up as father another time as I activated the detonator. The first time did nothing. The second time actually blew up the Institute. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I beat Fallout 4 with only a Gatling laser. Kind of. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. I really want to figure out what you guys want to see, and I'll be doing my best to upload more. Have a great day.